Hello, and welcome to today's reading for Tales and Tales, a summer program brought to you by the Alabama Public Library Service and the Hale County Library. My name is Ian Crawford, and today I'm particularly excited, so excited I dressed for the occasion, to read to you the beginning of one of the most famous works of literature, Dante Alighieri's The Divine Comedy. The year 2021 is the 700th anniversary of Dante's death in September. This year, the Uffizi Gallery has brought together over 88 drawings and works of art that have never before been seen together, most of them rarely ever seen before in the past. The link to that exhibition is put in the video description below. Without further ado, it's my pleasure to read Canto 1 from The Divine Comedy by Dante Alighieri, the father of the Italian language. Midway upon the journey of our life, I found myself within a forest dark, for the straightforward pathway had been lost. Ah me, how hard a thing it is to say. What was this forest savage, rough and stern, which in the very thought renews the fear? So bitter is it, death is little more. But of the good to treat, which there I found, speak will I of other things I saw there. I cannot well repeat how there I entered, so full was I of slumber at the moment, in which I had abandoned the true way. But after I had reached a mountain's foot, at that point where the valley terminated, which had with consternation pierced my heart, upward I looked, and beheld its shoulders, vested already with that planet's rays, which leadeth others right by every road. Then was the fear a little quieted, that in my heart's lake had endured throughout the night which I passed so piteously. And even as he who, with distressful breath, forth issued from the sea upon the shore, turns to the water perilous and gazes, so did my soul, that still was fleeing onward, turn itself back to rebehold the pass, which never yet a living person left. After my weary body I had rested, the way resumed I on the desert slope, so that firm foot ever was the slower. And lo, almost where the ascent began, a panther light and swift exceedingly, which with a spotted skin was covered over. And never moved she from before my face, nay, rather did impede me so much my way, that many times I to return have turned. The time was beginning of the morning, and up the sun was mounting with those stars, that with him were, what time the love divine. At first in motion set those beauteous things, so were to me occasion of good hope, the variegated skin of that wild beast. The hour of time and the delicious season, but not so much that did not give me fear, a lion's aspect which appeared to me. He seemed as if against me he were coming, with head uplifted and with ravenous hunger, so that it seemed the air was afraid of him. And a she-wolf, that with all hungerings, seemed to be laden in her meanness, and many folk had cause to live forlorn. She brought upon me so much heaviness, with the affright that from her aspect came, that I the hope relinquished of the height. And as he who willingly acquires, and the time comes that causes him to lose, who weeps in all his thoughts and is despondent. Even such made me that beast withouten peace, which, coming on against me by degrees, thrust me back whither, where the sun is silent. While I was rushing downward to the lowland, before mine eyes did one present himself, who seemed from long continued silence hoarse. When I beheld him in the desert vast, have pity upon me, I unto him cried, whiche'er thou art, or shade, or real man. He answered me, not man. Man once I was, and both my parents were of Lombardy, and Mantuans by country both of them. Sub Julio I was born, though it was late, and lived at Rome under the good Augustus, during the time of false and lying gods. A poet was I, and I sang that just song of Anchises, who came forth from Troy, after that Ilion the superb was burned. But thou, why goest thou back to such annoyance? Why climbest thou not the mount delectable, which is the source and cause of every joy? Now, thou art that Virgilius, and that fountain, which spreads abroad so wide a river of speech? I made response to him with bashful forehead. Oh, of the other poets' honor and light, avail me to the long study and great love that I have impelled me to explore thy volume. Thou art my master, and my author thou. Thou art alone the one from whom I took the beautiful style that has done honor to me. Behold the beast, for whichever I have turned back. Do thou protect me from her, famous sage, for she doth make my veins and pulses tremble. Thee it behooves to take another road, responded he, when he beheld me weeping, if from this savage place thou wouldest escape, because this beast, at which thou criest out, suffers not any one to pass her by, but so doth harass him, that she destroys him, and has a nature so malign and ruthless, that never doth she glut her greedy will, and after food is hungrier than before. And many the animals with whom she weds, and more they shall be still, until the greyhound comes, who shall make her perish in her pain. He shall not feed on either earth or pelf, but upon wisdom, and on love and virtue. Twixt Feltro and Feltro shall his nation be. Oh, that lowly Italy shall be the savior, on whose account the maid Camilla died. Euryalus, Turnus, Nisus of their wounds. Through every city shall he hunt her down, until he shall have driven her back to hell. There from whence envy first did her loose. Therefore I think and judge it for thy best, thou follow me, and I will be thy guide, and lead thee hence through the eternal place, where thou shalt hear the desperate lamentations, shalt see the ancient spirits disconsolate, who cry out each for the second death. And thou shalt see those who discontented are within the fire, because they hope to come, where'er it may be, to the blessed people, to whom then, if they wishes to ascend, a soul shall be for that than I more worthy. With her my departure I will leave thee, because that emperor who reigns above, in that I was rebellious to his law, wills that through me none shall come to his city. He governs everywhere, and there he reigns. There is his city and his lofty throne. O happy he whom hereto he elects. And I to him, poet, I thee entreat, by that same God who thou didst never know, so that I may escape this woe and worse. Thou wouldest conduct me there, where thou hast said, that I may see the portal of St. Peter, and those thou makest so disconsolate. Then he moved on, and I behind him followed.